Going to teach you the subject that is computer fundamentals and information technology. And our today's topic in this subject is introduction to computer. So first of all, I'll introduce you with the computer system. This is one computer system in which you are having one keyboard, mouse, CPU, speakers, etc. So these all are what? These all are the parts of a computer. If you check, this keyboard, it is one kind of input device. Then speakers are a kind of output device. Then monitor, that is again one kind of output device. Then mouse is there. With the help of this, you just input something within the computer. So that is why it is also known as one input device. Then after that, CPU is there, that means central processing unit is there, and it is consisting of many things. So we will discuss it in the later session, because in case of this subject we are having different number of things. So one by one we will discuss what are the parts of computer, what are the peripheral devices, what are the applications of computer. So the one by one we will discuss all the things within this subject. First of all, in today's topic, in today's lecture, I want to introduce you people about the computer. What exactly, why do we use this computer, and what exactly the work of it. So let us start this introduction to computer. First of all, the question arises what do you mean by a computer? So we can say that the word computer comes from the word that is compute, which means to calculate. That means a computer is being used for calculation purpose. But as we all know that it is being used in a day-to-day life also. Computers are the integral part of our everyday existence. That means with the help of this computer we do lots of more things also. Other than the calculation, we perform different number of other tasks also with the help of this computer. And it can be we can play games on it, we can listen music with the help of this, we can watch movies onto it. So these are some common tasks which we perform with the help of the computer. So these are a common task. So that means we can say that with the help of computer we are not only doing calculation, we are performing other things also. As computer, this is one computer system, as computer has been emerged as one of the biggest innovation in regards with technology. So it is not only being used in calculation, but it is also being used in various applications. If we talk about in other some other applications of computer, then we can also say that it is being used in banking, for keeping the records of the customers, for different number of accounts, and for keeping the records of the transactions. Then it is also being used in hospitals for keeping the records of the patients, and it is also being used for performing different number of tests and for generating the reports. Then if we talk about some more application, then it is also being used in education for teaching the students. Then it is also used in government sectors as well as in the private sectors. For different number of businesses, this computer is being used. So these are some applications where we are using this computer. That means in nowadays computer is being used in every field. So let us discuss the one definition of it. That means we can say that computer is an electronic device which is used to generate the output as per the user's input in a very fast, efficient and effective manner. That means we can say that it is used to generate the output. The output will be generated only when the input is given to the computer. So first of all we have to give the input to the computer so that it can be processed by the processing unit, and after that the output will be generated And as we are using that computer for performing any task, so that means this computer works in a very fast, efficient and effective manner. So this is one definition, and for defining this we can see that first of all we just take the raw data as an input from the user. Then after that, processing is done under the control of some set of instructions. Then the computer produces the output results, which is known as information. So this definition mainly works upon the life cycle, or you can say mainly works upon the workflow of a computer, which will I'll discuss in the next slide, like introduction to computer. We can also say that it is a machine which is comprises of multiple number of input and output devices to perform specific operations or functionalities. As if you want to perform any specific task, like if you want to type something, if you, for example, you are using the MS Word application and you want to type one resume of yourself, then what type of devices you require? First of all, you require one kind of input device with the help of which you can give input to the computer. So that means you require one keyboard with the help of which you can type something, you can write something within the computer. So for performing any of the operation, like if you want to play music, then what are the devices which you require? So for playing the music, first of all, with the help of mouse you will give the command. Then after that, with the help of a speaker you can listen the music. That means you require the speakers also. So that means these are some devices which are attached to your computer system for performing any specific task or operations. So this is one another definition of a computer. Then after that, we can also say that a computer is also called one data processor. Why? Because it can store, it can process, it can retrieve the data whenever desired. That means we can store the data within the computer, as the computer is having lots of space in the hard disk drive. Like in the form of secondary storage devices, we have lots of space into it. That means we can store the data, we can store large number of files within it. Then after that, processing can be done with the help of processing units. Like for example, you have taken some input for performing any task, like calculation you want to perform, like you have taken some numbers for performing calculation. Then with the help of processing unit, the data will be processed, and then after that the output will be displayed onto the monitor, and you can save that output if you want. And if you want to save that output, then it can be saved into a secondary storage devices, and whenever you want to retrieve that output, then you can retrieve it. So just like that, where it can be applied for other data also. Then after that, we can understand this data processor. Computer can be known as a data processor. How we will discuss it in the this section also. Like computer as a data processor. So data processor means that the activity of processing the data using a computer, obviously known as a data processor. Just like this is the first thing which we require. If we want to process something, then the first thing which we require is data. So data means the raw material, or the raw facts and figures, or the unorganized data. So it is known as data. That means for example, you have written CKWM 0123 and 569. So this is one thing which you have written onto one word file, but right now you don't know. Means if you will present this thing with anyone, then obviously it is not clear like what it is. that means it will be known as data, because you haven't mentioned anything like what it is. Like if it is a Aadhaar card number, if it is a voter ID card number, then you have to mention it. And if you have mentioned like my Aadhaar ID number is CWJK013319, then it will be known as the information. So first of all, the data is given to the computer. Like you have given 13 plus 13, so this is data. Then capture data, this is one other thing in case of data processor. Capture the data means like how you are capturing your data. In a form of numbers you are capturing your data, in a form of characters you are taking your data, you are capturing your data. In a form of words you are capturing your data, or in a form of image you are capturing your data. So as data can be captured in any of the form. Data can be measured in a form of audio, video, image, numbers. In any form you can capture the data. Then after that you have to after capturing this data, you have to give it to the computer for manipulation purpose. So after the manipulation means after the processing of this data, the output will be generated, and output is displayed with the help of a monitor. You can check your output with the help of a monitor. And that output, for example, if you have given the data like 12 plus 12, then you will get 24. So 24 is what? 24 is the output for that data. So 24 is the addition of 12 plus 12. So that will be known as information, means the process data. And this output is known as information, because you have processed that particular data which you have inputted to the computer. So after processing of this data, it will be known as information. And then after that, the data processing cycle of a computer, that means how the computer works as a data processor. So as information is created from the data, so first of all we need the data. Like data can be in any form, so we can provide the data in any of the form to the computer, and after the processing part the information will be generated. So input, processing, and then output. So this is one of the main data processing cycle of a computer. Like first of all the computer requires one kind of input, then after processing the desired output will come, and it will be known as information. Now how computer works as a data processor. Like data means raw facts and figures, means data is the raw material which is used as input, and we can also say that it is one organized facts and figures. Like data themselves are fairly useless. Data is an individual unit that contains raw material and which does not carry any specific meaning. For example, you have written 500, but this 500 is what? You haven't put any unit before that. That means whether it is a number, whether it is in rupees, whether it is any ID, what it is. So as soon as you write rupees before this 500, then only it will be known as information. Like information means the processed data, means the data when it will be processed, then it will be known as information. Like information is organized or the processed data which has some meaningful values for the receiver. That means the processed data obtained as output of data processing is known as information. And we can also say that if we want to add for example, if we want to add two numbers, if we want to multiply two numbers like 13 into 30, then after calculation of this 13 into 13, the desired output, whenever you will get the desired output, then it will be known as the information. So just like that, we have taken the example that is rupees 500. So when I'll put rupees before the 500, then it will be known as information. So the data means raw facts, means we haven't cleared the thing like what it is exactly, and after the organization of that data, after the processing of that data, it will be known as information. Means when the data are interpreted or processed to determine its true meaning, then it is known as the information. So we can understand this data and information with the help of examples also. Like this is one example of data. Words can be the data, words like name you have mentioned, address you have mentioned, but this time it is the data. In some form it can be considered as data. I'll tell you like how and when it will be known as data. Then numbers, audio, video, image. So these all are the examples of data. Then after that, information. So when it will be known as information, for example, words you have written some words like your name you have written, but at that time the data is not organized, data is not processed. But when it generates in a form of biodata, then it will be known as information. The same is like in case of admit card. This is one example of information. Then audio, video lectures, then ticket. So these all are some examples of information. Now one by one I'll discuss these things. Like for example, if you are saying that words are the form of a data, how we can say that? For example, you are writing your biodata, you want to type one biodata, you are writing it, but you have written only the name within it. So only giving the name and address within the biodata is not sufficient. So at that time it will be known as data. But when you just given the complete information about you, like you have mentioned your name, you have mentioned your address, phone number, your educational qualification, then your objective, your each and everything you have mentioned, and you have saved that file, and after compiling, so that time it will be known as information. So words are comprised in data, and biodata is one processed data, that means information. Same like in case of admit card, for example, in case of admit card you have given only your name, so at that time the admit card will not be generated. But once you just given your photo, once you have given your enrollment number, student ID number, your name, address, then the admit card will be generated. So at that time it will be known as information. Same in case of audio and video also. For example, you are recording some videos, and within for 5 minutes video you are making, and in which the complete lecture or the complete knowledge you have not given to these students. That means your topic is not being completed. You are giving only 2 minutes audio and video. At that time it will be known as data. But once you just combined all the videos into one, and your topic is being completed, at that time it will be known as the information. That means the complete video lecture in which you have given the complete information to the students, at that time it will be known as information. Now image, how image can be considered as data. For example, you are filling one form. For example, SBI has generated, SBI is recruiting some assistant managers. So for that purpose you want to apply. So what you are doing, for example, you have opened that particular link, and then after that you have gone through it. Then after that you have clicked on the apply button. So when you just click on apply button, then the one form will be created, one form will be generated, and after that one by one you have to put all the data into it. Like you have to put your name there, you have to put your educational qualification there, and all the things you have to give into that form. Then after that one scanned photograph is also required into your form. So once you just upload the scanned photograph and all the other information into it, then after that you are clicking on submitting button, and when you click on submit button, then the one PDF file will be generated with the complete information which you have given to that form. So, and one message is generated that you have successfully applied for this position. So at that time the scanned photograph is working like a data, and this is one of the example of data in case of an image. And ticket or the application form which you have generated after filling that form will be known as the information at that time. So hope you have understood the concept of computer, and you have understood the concept of data and information also. So what you do, you just make the notes of it. You just make one separate notebook of each and every subjects, and one by one you just note all the points into it. And if there is any problem, then we will discuss it in the interactive session. So till then, thank you everyone. Hope you all will learn these things which I'll tell you in the today's lecture. Thank you everyone. Thank you so much.